This stock is up 20% since its October low. It's a very active company, one you know very well. So we're going to go over some high-level metrics, our 8-pillar process, some analyst estimates, some news about the company. We're going to go to our community for some bull and bear cases, and we're going to finish it off with probably what you're going to be wondering the most, which is what is the right price to pay for the company based on our stock analyzer tool. So in this video, we're going to have things for beginners all the way to more advanced investors and everything in between. So no matter where you fall in a spectrum, stay the entire time, because as the video goes on, the information gets better. So guys, the company we're talking about today is eBay. We have all used eBay at some point in our lives. It's a very, very active company. They're the ones that spun off PayPal. So from high-level metrics on eBay, it's a $23 billion company. If you bought every share outstanding and paid the market price for it, that market cap is $23 billion. So the average net income over the last 5 years is $4.4 billion. Mo, there was something in there that was a huge fluke, I assume. There was something in there you had to pull out.
Wow. I mean, if you look at the net income over the last 5 years, $2.5 billion, $5 billion, $13 billion,
yeah, there was
$361 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But here's the deal. So whenever there's discrepancy here, what do I immediately jump to? I go to the free cash flow.
Yeah.
And this is a lot more consistent. And the thing I like also about this, the free cash flow is significantly higher than last year's net income. They did $2.4 billion in free cash flow. And the last 5 years, their average is about $2.3 billion in free cash flow. So I'm going to focus on the free cash flow here because of how widespread this net income number is. All right. So their dividend, 2.2%, eats up only $500 million of their $2.3 billion of free cash flow in the last 5 years.
Pretty good.
So they get, yeah. So we're not worried about that dividend going away.
Nope.
Right. Solid return on invested capital. 5-year average is 14.2%. Last year was 15%. This shows that they get a good return on the money invested in the business. If I asked you right now, what is the online auction place? What would you say?
eBay.
eBay.
There is not another one.
I don't even think even auction. What's auction.com? I don't even know what auction.com is. But eBay is the online auction place.
Yeah.
All right. But there's a lot of confusion in the income statement, the balance sheet. One thing I do like, their 1 year price of free cash flow is single digits, 9.85, and their 5 year is almost single digits, 10.28. Okay. Now, this is interesting for me because the company does generate some good cash flow. They're, if they get cheap enough, you want them buying back these shares, and this looks pretty cheap here to me.
Yeah, they've been buying back shares pretty aggressively.
All right, let's go look at the 8 pillars and see how aggressive that's been.
Let's see.
Oh, wow, look at this.
Wow.
So remember, guys, if you're part of our community, you can customize your pillars up to 12 different pillars. But right now, we have again, I would not even look at this PE ratio, 5.3, because it has some fluke net income number in there. I'd focus more on the price to free cash flow of 10.3. Their cash flow is down slightly in the last 5 years. That's an X. And their net income is down in the last 5 years. That's an X. But everything else, they bought back 46% of their shares. Guys, it's important for me to explain this. And if you've watched our videos before, you've heard me talk about buying back of shares. First rule, they got to be cheap. I don't care what anybody says in this world. If you're buying back expensive shares, you are damaging your investor's investment, okay? 2, when they're buying back these shares, let's say they have 100 shares outstanding and you own 10 of them. You own 10% of the business. They buy back 46% of the shares. You still own your 10 shares, but now it's out of 54. So you went from 10% of the business to basically, what is that? So that'd be 18% roughly. Call it 18%, give or take. I look at that saying, that's how the company rewards you as an investor. And now the earnings per share, the free cash flow per share, you get a bigger piece of that. And over time, hypothetically, let's say they bought every share back except for yours. Theoretically, not really going to happen. You own 100% of the business. That's incredible. All right. That's how buying back shares is so powerful.
They've gone 10 years ago, they were 1.26 billion shares outstanding. Today, they're 534 million. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You know, I've looked at eBay in the past. I've sold puts on it. I think I owned it for a short period of time.
Did you?
And I lost the shares to a covered call. And I was fine with that, just saying, you know what? It doesn't really fit my criteria. But I'm looking at this going, darn, This is really, really good. Now, the question is, let's go look at their income statement. Big jump in revenue during COVID.
Still up there.
Actually, a drop in revenue during COVID.
Actually, you're right. And then a big
And
jump
then a
right
big
after.
jump.
But
And
they're
then-
still right. I mean, I would say it's pretty much the same revenue for the last 3 years, fiscal years. Don't you think?
And by the way, their year they made $12.9 billion. They had $10.6 billion in one-time income from discontinued operations.
Right.
So a company they used to own or they used to have, they probably sold it off or something, and that was a big gain. So you got to strike that out. Just like if it was a loss, I'd strike that out.
Gross profit is basically the same.
Solid gross profit, Mo.
Yeah.
Solid gross profit. Let me go back here. Gross profit of 72%. That's awesome. All right. So, Mo, what's some news on eBay that we can share with our viewers?
All right, so here's a story. eBay slips after New York lawsuit. There are a lot of lawsuits coming out of the federal government these days, but most of them starting with the FTC. Online auction kingpin eBay discovered that they can come from other places like the Department of Justice. Oh boy. Look at this. eBay was selling products that violated laws such as the Clean Air Act, the federal insecticide, fungicide, rodenticide. Are you worried about this? I mean, let's put this in perspective. Let's say they get rid of those products and they can't sell them.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just bad news in a certain area. Let's see what this is. eBay-backed Adventina jumps after getting a PE approach.
You know, I look at eBay. One of the things I'd want to understand about eBay, Mo, is where are they getting their growth? You know, because auctions are a great thing, but I don't think auctions are awesome. You know, eBay's also using it as a marketplace. Like you can buy it now.
You can buy it now. You can buy new things on there.
Yeah,
etc.
So it's kind of like, okay, you know, I'm an average watch collector. I go to eBay. I look at watches. If I want to sell a watch, I'd go. Now, you know, there's other websites for just watch selling.
Right. From my understanding, eBay has done a really good job of authenticating the high-end purses, watches, etc. They're really big about that now.
Yeah, I think when you buy with eBay, you buy with a confidence that you're not getting scammed.
Yeah.
And that's a really important thing in the online world. It's one of the reasons I like PayPal. Ironically, PayPal was part of eBay for a long time. That's it's very big on security and safety.
Majority of purchases every purchase I make through eBay is via PayPal.
You know, we did exactly. So we brought Mr. Moskal here to do baseball. That's what we went, he bought it from eBay.
Because it was authenticated.
Yeah. All these things. So you look at that go, actually, no, he didn't buy it from eBay, but he did look at eBay. And actually, eBay's price was higher. So that could be a good thing for eBay. So, okay. What else you got, Mo? Anything else?
No, those are the two big stories. I mean, this is one of those companies where it's a very well-known company, but it's kind of a quiet under the radar company at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I don't like about this eBay is declining revenue right now. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of that.
There is a price to be paid for declining revenue.
Of course there is. So let's go to analyst estimates. So analyst estimates has EPS growth. And again, these are analysts, guys. I want to stress to every new viewer out there, I don't look at analysts and think, oh, they're right. In fact, I kind of chuckle at it. But I want to see, where do they even stand? Like, are they sitting there being overly euphoric? Are they being too conservative? I'm looking at this saying, I mean, we're talking about very low revenue growth over the next 4 or 5 years. So with that, when we finally use our stock analyzer tool to give ourselves a return on the company, you have to remember that the growth is not going to be huge there. Let's look at their revenue estimates. They have revenue growth, but it's low single digits. So it's not a company that's growing gangbusters. You got to remember that when going forward and making your assumptions in our stock analyzer tool. What's up, Mo?
If you look at revenue in 2014, it was $9 billion, and revenue in 2023 was just a shade under $10 billion. So there's really not a lot of growth.
Not at all, in the past and in the future.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go look at some bull and bear cases for eBay, in our community. So I'm going to pull up eBay stock. Okay. Joel, bear case, U.S. sues eBay over the sale of harmful products. Yeah. Okay, bull case, shares outstanding, decrease of 46%, and e-commerce is growing fast. So, first off, we love that our community members see the value in buying back shares when they're done the right way. But e-commerce is growing. it keeps growing. I think online sales are around 15% of total retail sales. That's going to keep growing as time goes on. As the world develops, there's going to be more and more online sales happening.
What's the most expensive thing you've bought on eBay?
A car.
A car?
Yeah, I bought a car before.
Was the Land Rover?
No. No, it was a Volvo.
Wow.
Back in 2006.
Smooth process?
Yeah, very easy. Very easy. From a reliable buyer.
Yeah.
High rating. The only thing I didn't like, though, and this is what I found out later, the car was great, but literally I was going to pick up the car, and he literally turned his computer around and said, "Can you write me a review?" And I should have said, "No, I'm not going to write you a review. When the car comes to me, as long as everything you said it was, I will write you a review."
Gotcha.
But reviews are a big thing on eBay, just like they are on Amazon.
They are.
But I have bought a car on eBay.
Yeah.
I've sold a car on eBay.
I've sold a lot of stuff on eBay. I hate when people don't write me reviews because I'm always good. Ship fast and
What's your eBay? What's your eBay rating?
100%.
No, like how many reviews do you have?
Oh, I think I have like 100.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I have too. Which I think is a lot. Like if I want to, it depends on what I'm buying, but I want to sit there and the reviews are everything.
Yeah, they are.
They really are everything. Okay. Bull case. Shares outstanding. Exactly. eBay launching AI tool in their marketplace. Sellers and collaborate with Microsoft for cloud computing. Bear case, stiff competition. So I do agree with that. People are starting to sell more on Amazon and in terms of buy it now. The auction place is still eBay, but how many people are still doing auction? I don't know.
Right. This person actually said, I used to buy a lot off of eBay and would pay extra to ensure it was certified. Signature on a baseball card. For some reason, I haven't spent a nickel on it since COVID. On eBay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So Wicked Willie, our newest member of the EM staff, writes, received 702.5 million visits per month on average and 132 million active buyers on the marketplace. Holy cow. The average consumer on eBay spent $700 annually on the website, with trading cards being the largest category of spend.
That's shocking.
2 bear cases, the lawsuit, and holds just 3.5% market share of e-commerce retailers in the U.S., behind Amazon at 37.8, Walmart at 6.3, and Apple at 3.9.
If I look at eBay, it doesn't seem like they're trying to gain more market share. They're not like making this strong push to gain more market share. It almost seems like they're just content with where they are.
So
which is not a bad thing.
Exactly. I mean, again, I'm not trying to pump eBay here, but I'm sitting there saying, listen, find your niche, stick with it, be the online auction, because there's still going to be a value for online auctions, right?
I mean, they're a moat for online auctions. Where else do you go?
Now, I will say there are niches. Like, for example, I recently sold a car on bringatrailer.com. That was recommended to me by a lot of car enthusiasts. Like, Paul, if you want market value for your car and it's a high-end car, go there. But go on eBay. You can see cars that are selling for, ridiculous prices on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ferrari. Let's look up Ferrari.
I go to eBay probably a couple times a week.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this: 140,000, 138,000, 240,000, 329, 189.9, 205, 215. They're all over the place.
I actually buy a lot of new electronics, like buy it now. Off
of
eBay.
I like doing that kind of stuff. All right, so I don't buy on Amazon. We have a user who says he doesn't buy on Amazon.
All of our daughters and son-in-laws do. Interesting.
Incredible.
Anthony, what do you use? Wicked Willie said, I'm going to follow up with that.
That's incredible. All right, so guys, now we're going to use the stock analyzer tool. Now remember, this tool has been used over 2 million times by our users since we started keeping track. And the key here is what you put in is what you get out. So it's just taking your assumptions to determine a price. Now, this tool, along with all of our other tools, I talk about them all the time, and especially our community, we're very active in there. So a lot of people, of course, this all started because people said, how can I get this? That's how this whole thing started. Now, I'm not asking you to make a yes or no decision right now, but what I want you to do is to make an informed decision. And you can only do that on the inside. You can't do that from sitting on the outside. So that's why, just like on a car, when you want to buy a car, you spend 15 minutes on a test drive, getting in the car, feeling it. That's why we're offering a 7-day free trial, full access. You get all the tools, our entire community, everything there, full access. Go to everythingmoney.com, sign up. I'm very confident at the end, when you sit there and see all the value, you'll sign up for our software. And if you don't, no harm, no foul. Keep watching our videos, keep learning. And someday in the future, when it's right for you, you can go do it. But go sign up now for our free 7-day trial. So Mo, when was the last time you did eBay?
My last time was April of this year.
Oh, wow, really? Mm-hmm. Mine was January of this year.
But I actually just adjusted my numbers. I went lower.
I'm going to do a 10-year analysis. I did a 20-year analysis back in January.
Okay.
All right, so what did you do for revenue growth?
So I actually did -2, 0, and 2.
So I did 2, 4, and 6. I think I'm going to change that as well. I'm going to go with -1, 1, and 3. Might be a little conservative, guys, but you know, it's not looking the best there. Now, obviously, as inflation hits, keeps going, you know, we're having higher inflation than we did over the last 10 years. As goods go up in value, guess what happens to eBay's fees? They go up in value as well.
Yep.
What'd you do for profit margin, Mo?
So I did 30, 35, and 40%. I'm looking at the last year and saying,
okay, so I'm going to go a little bit lower. Okay. I did higher than that before, but I'm going to do 25, 30, and 35%. For free cash flow, I'm going to do 20. Oh, man.
I did 20, 25, and 30% for free cash flow margin.
I did 20, 23, and 26, and I think I'm going to keep that.
Okay.
Now, what about PE and price of free cash flow? I'm definitely changing this. Now, guys, you got to remember also, it's all about opportunity costs when you're looking at an investment. I'm looking at eBay going, I'm not in love with it. It's not like I have to have eBay, but if it's a stupid low price that I think is mispriced, I will gladly buy it. So I'm going to be a little more conservative and see where it falls. So on PE, I'm going to do 12, 14, and 16.
Yeah, I think that might be better. I did 13, 15, 17.
Okay. And for our final one, desired annual return, guys. Again, the market can give you 9 or 10% over long periods of time. So what return do you want? The larger your return that you want, the bigger the margin of safety. And margin of safety is an integral part of all investing. It's absolutely important when you're building a bridge. If it needs to hold 10,000 pounds, you build it to hold 20,000 pounds. Same thing with investing. You don't want to buy a company for exactly what you think it's worth based on the best assumptions. Have a wide range, take a look at it, and go from there. I did 12, 14, and 16.
I did 11, 13, and 15.
Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to hit the analyze button. I just need you for 1 minute longer, so stick with me because I want to explain these numbers and explain to you the returns you'll get if you pay today's price and based on these assumptions. So that's what's great about our software. It will give you the price you should pay based on your assumptions and what return you'd get if you still bought it today and those assumptions occurred. Hit the analyze button. Boom. A low price of 31 to 40, high price of 48 to 65, middle of 40 to 50. If you paid today's price of $43, you'd make 7% if your lowest assumptions occur, 12.7 if your middle assumptions occur, 18 if your high assumptions occur. Mo, what'd you get?
I had 31 on the low, 31 to 48 on the low, 55 to 75 on the high, and in the middle, 43 to 60.
Okay. So we're about in the same range.
We're in there. We're in the same area.
So I don't think today's price is egregious. I think it's actually a pretty good price. The question is, for me, it's like, well, I'd rather own this or another company that one of the other 12 companies I have. I'd rather own that. But if this price starts to get lower than 30, I'm going to start paying a lot of attention. That's why it's my watch list at $35.
Yeah, same here.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Everythingmoney.com for our 7-day free trial.